And we are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Product People live stream. We're just now getting started, letting our audience join. And while we wait, if you are more than welcome to either scan this QR code or go to slido.com and enter the code here, where you can then ask questions throughout that might pop up as we're going through this presentation. You have a question, make sure to ask it within Slido here, put it in the chat, whichever various format that you're using, so that Batool or myself can answer later. And then we will have a poll to start in just a moment. I'm going to give it just a minute to let a few more people join, and then we'll continue moving forward with the slide and the presentation. So thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. Okay. All right. I am being notified that we are live everywhere. So here we go. Again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please go to slido.com if you want to participate and be interactive and ask questions that we will happily answer, assuming that we have time as we progress. And there will be a poll question at the very beginning. You'll be able to answer that again via slido.com. So today we are going to be talking about something that is very close to home for us at Product People, which is navigating the world of product management consulting. Thank you to Batool for joining us today to actually give this presentation and explain to the world what the difference is between product management and product management consulting. There is a bit of a difference here. We're going to dive into the details, and thankfully Batool is here to navigate us through this very interesting topic, which I'm looking forward to learning about. Batool is a consultant with Product People. She was formerly a product manager at full time at an organization. So she has made that transition to product management consulting, something that I did years ago, which is awesome. So she's in a very prime position to be able to explain the differences and to help us all grow to understand the different levels of complexity and what it means to actually be a product management consultant. To start, I'm your host today. My name is John Freeman. I'm a former consultant with Product People, but now I'm on the demand side of the organization. I do sales and business development. I help Product People grow as an organization as well. But been in product management. It says 5 years there, but now we're getting on 7 possibly. And there's a list of some of the companies that I've worked with in the past. But in the event that you want to talk product management, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to have a discussion with you about the ins and outs of product management, what it might mean for you and your organization, and ultimately how product people might be able to support you. If you're not familiar with product people, we are interim product management as a service. What that means is if your organization is facing a gap in your product management staff, then you might be for a parental leave, perhaps. Maybe there's time lag between when somebody is leaving the organization and when you can hire an FTE, a full-time employee. Contact product people will be able to facilitate your product management processes and make sure that the train keeps moving in the wake of your staffing absence. We also do traditional product management consulting as well, 0 to 1 iteration ideation on your MVPs. We do product ops and transformations and all kinds of fun stuff. In addition to that, we are community builders. We've grown one of the largest European product management communities. We now have 60,000 members across the various platforms. And that is how we give back to the community is by hosting free events, including the one that you are attending right now, these free live streams where we like to share knowledge generously and help the product community grow. But before we start the presentation, we want to ask a question to the audience. What do you believe is the biggest challenge in product management consulting? Love to know. Go to slido.com, enter that code, and you'll be able to participate in this survey question or scan this QR code if you would like to do so on your phone. We'll give that about 30 seconds or so to get some answers rolling in. Got some answers rolling in. Just give it a few more moments. Maybe I'll do the elevator music. Do, 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 as we wait. Just give it a few more moments, see if we get some more answers. But what do you think is the biggest challenge for product management consulting? Right, votes are still coming in. All right, we have several different answers, but so far, 44% of the votes are coming in and saying winning and retaining clients is, in fact, the hardest part about being a product management consultant. And that is also, and the second highest vote was adapting to diverse company cultures and processes. The rest are equal in terms of the votes, but yeah, those things are quite difficult. I'll let Batool give us part of her talk, maybe an answer to that question. Okay, and now I'm going to hand over the microphone and the screen share to Batul. Again, she's a product management consultant here at Product People, formerly PM at various organizations. And Batul, I'm going to hand the mic over to you and allow you to introduce yourself and share your screen. Thank you.
Hello, hello. So I'm going to share my screen in just a moment. Okay, all good. Hello, my name is Batool. I started my career as a PM at a fintech company actually, and then I transitioned into an e-commerce product manager. And from there, I decided that PMC role is for me, and then I made the switch. So today, welcome to the presentation on PMC. Today, we'll be diving into what it means to be a product management consultant, all the fun projects that we take on, how this role is different from a traditional product manager. We'll also provide insights into working as a PMC at Product People. So, what does our day to day look like? And here's what we'll cover today. We'll start by introducing the concept of PMC, discussing similarities and differences compared to a traditional PM role and a PMC. We'll then explore the different type of missions PMCs typically engage with, the skills gained and common challenges, and what a typical week looks like for a PMC at Para People. We'll also touch on career development and pros and cons of a PMC career. Okay, let's get started with the introduction to PMC. What does a PMC mean? And yeah, to understand the role of a PMC, it is first helpful to know what a product manager does. Product managers usually guide the success of a product by setting a clear vision. What does a product look like in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and how does it tie with the company's strategy overall? Then they create features in the product backlog and prioritize like their life depends on it. Then the lead cross-functional teams that includes developers, designers, customer success teams, marketing, and any and all departments in the company that you can think of. Uh, we uh, we collaborate with all of them. We engage with stakeholders from top management, CEO, board members, sales, customer support, developers, and we gather feedback and keep them updated. We talk to our customers to understand their pain points and then tie it with the product that we're working with to understand, are we solving the right pain points? Are we solving the right problems? And how are we helping our customers? Um, in order to do that, we also use qualitative and quantitative data to make data informed decisions. So one of the things that one of my mentors taught me was look at the dashboard every single day. Day one, you might not understand the thing, but day 100, you might be able to understand what levers to pull in order to make the maximum impact. And all in all, to see whether you're solving the right problem and you have the right solution for the problem you're solving, We track KPIs to measure the product success. Um, PMs typically work full time at one company and dedicate their efforts to a specific product. So now let's look at what a PMC does. So PMCs provide expertise on a short-term basis, typically from 3 to 12 months. We step in to support companies with parental leave coverage. We also fill positions when companies look for a new PM. So as our founder once said that we're not hired when the first PM leaves. We are hired typically when the second PM leaves within 2 weeks or starts underperforming, or the company needs a drastic change. So we deliver high impact projects and manage essential hands-on tasks. We also offer coaching and advisory services and consulting to help teams succeed. Our ability to onboard quickly and deliver fast outcomes is what sets us apart. Okay, now let's look at the differences between a PM, a full-time PM, and a PMC. First one is scope of work. While full-time PMs work typically focus on one single product within a single company, PMCs are often hired for high impact mission critical projects such as transforming services into platforms, launching MVPs, or streamlining processes post acquisitions. These are significant challenges that PMs might only face once in their careers, and PMCs specialize in these scenarios. Then, secondly, the industry exposure. PMs usually work in one industry throughout their career. There can be multiple companies, but usually in the same industry. PMCs work in different industries from B2B to B2C and to B2B2C, and this diversity enables them to bring broad perspective and specialized expertise to each engagement. They can tailor their approach to specific needs of the project. Third, agility and impact. Like I mentioned, PMCs are usually only hired for a very short span of time. So PMCs excel in rapidly integrating into new environments, aligning team with clear objectives, and delivering measurable outcomes in a very short span of time. Last but not the least, it's a consultancy role at the end of the day. So beyond just managing products, beyond managing product backlogs, we also wear a consultancy hat. So we assess a company's processes, team efficiencies, product development methodologies, and then suggest and implement improvements as a part of our role. Okay. Then what are the typical missions that are handled by the PMCs? So these are some of the projects that we take on. These are some of the type of the projects we take on. So for example, first is developing and launching MVPs. I'll proceed here by giving some examples so it's more relevant. So for example, we were hired by a terra marine company to consolidate all of their product offerings into one single sign-on for better accessibility and to give their B2B customers a platform where they can access everything in one go. Then we work on product scaling and growth. So for example, in companies where the products are already established, we step in and we see how can we improve the processes. For example, we worked on improving ratings and reviews section for an e-commerce company to increase the number of reviews, eventually driving sales. Then we're also hired for market expansion. So for products that are already established in one market and we have to expand it to different markets, we work on localization, we work on regulatory requirements, and all of that. Another type of project that we take on is product ops. Here is where we look into product development teams, enhance efficiency and their performance. So for example, and this is something that has happened to almost all of us, where requirements change mid development or stakeholders delay some feedback or request functionality changes after the launch. Team performance and efficiency suffers. So we start by coaching the team to identify these bottlenecks. We implement solution and we set stricter change management protocols that help us minimize last minute changes and ensure development stays right on schedule, ready to roll out, and stakeholders are all happy. Another example of process optimization to streamline product development is to improve productivity and outcomes. So we make process improvement changes, and we identify inefficiencies and understand team pains. Where are the the product team feels like they need to make a change. It's not something that's working for them. That's where we step in. We document all the optimized processes, and we get buy-ins from all the stakeholders. And often at times we are the bad guys initially, but then they see value in what we do. Um, so, as for the duration, um, our engagement spans from 3 to 12 months typically. It can exceed, but it's always more than 3 months in order to make the right impact. Let's now continue with challenges and skills that we gain as a PMC in the whole process. So PMCs face several challenges, right? So we have very limited time, and we're often hired at a time where company is company wants to make a change very fast. So we have very limited onboarding time and tight timelines for delivering high quality results. So this is within 2 weeks, we aim to deliver something that is beneficial for the company, which is also beneficial for the stakeholders. We need to quickly learn about different products, industries to make an immediate impact. We have to quickly adapt to different company cultures and build trust with stakeholders. That also means managing stakeholders' expectations and navigating complex project requirements. We have to, in all of that, we have to maintain high standards of deliverables despite challenging conditions and sometimes overcoming resistance to change. Okay, so it's not all gloom and doom. We also gain very valuable skills, and PMCs usually gain a diverse set of skills that are essential for their success in the role. First off, we learn to adapt product management frameworks across various setups, which allows us to work effectively in different environments. What may work for your company may not work for the next company that we're working with. We also develop a strong problem-solving skill to resolve blockers and navigate complex projects. Um, we quickly get the understanding and start contributing to new products and teams in another PMC is another skill that a PMC acquires over time. This is crucial for integrating smoothly and delivering results. We learn to navigate ambiguity, drive initiatives even when the information is limited. Additionally, PMCs also become adept to creating strategic plans, clearly communicating them to the stakeholders for optimizing process development process for better efficiency, leading diverse teams with limited context. Finally, being proactive in this dynamic environment is the key skill to help us excel as consultants. Okay, so how do we do this, right? How do we adapt to new domains, new cultures, and what is the process that we follow at Product People, and something that you can also benefit with when you're engaging with a new company, even as a PM, right? So we initially hold a ways of working workshop where we at the start of each engagement, and this helps us understand the company's communication preference, any work style, what are the tools that they're working with, and what is the overall culture like. We then tailor our approach based on these insights to ensure seamless integration into the team. We also then conduct coffee chats with different stakeholders, and we gather insights in an informal setting um, about the company, the team culture, what are the pain points that they're facing, anything that they want to share with us. They can do this in these various coffee chats. Then we also develop a stakeholder map or using an RACI matrix where we clarify the roles, identify who can support us in various topics and when can they support us. So that also helps us building strong relationships and ensuring effective collaboration and smooth project execution. We also focus, this is a big part, we also focus on understanding product and market by joining product demos, using the product, checking user guides, any research that has been done by the company, or any research that we can do to understand the market, the company, and the competitors. And that is how we aim to exceed expectations as consultants every time we are engaged with a client. Okay. Then how do we create impact in a short time? Like I mentioned, we aim to create impact within 2 weeks of us joining the company. And how do we do that? So we start by creating impact. We start by defining mission goals and key tasks based on insights into the product, customers, and business context. We also focus on prioritizing tasks that have the highest impact and develop a clear plan for them, and with timelines to ensure smooth execution. Then the main part, I think this is important for any role in corporate environment, is that effective communication is crucial. We share our plans with the stakeholders to gather their feedback and make adjustments as we go. Once the plans are shared, they're aligned with, then we make sure that we have a regular cadence for updates, and we keep everyone aligned. We actively seek continuous feedback and to refine our approach, and this is how we ensure that we're delivering value from the start, from the very get go. Okay, so if you want to move to a PMC career, how does that look like? What are the different skills that we look for in a PMC, or in a person, in a potential PMC? Um, So this career path suits people who enjoy variety, are flexible, and have a passion for solving diverse product challenges. Like I mentioned, you'll be working with different industries, different companies, different cultures, and being able to adapt to each of these differences is diverse product challenges is something that is very crucial for a PMC role. It is especially rewarding for those who thrive in a fast-paced environment and want to make a direct impact on the product strategy. Becoming a PMC usually involves a background in product management or related fields, business analysis, UX design. Sometimes our PMCs also come from engineering background, so they have been an engineering manager. They transition to a PMC, but all of them enjoy solving complex product challenges and thrive in dynamic environments. So, for example, I transitioned to a PMC role after working as a PM at a B2C e-commerce company, and I was looking for more diverse experiences in B2B and B2C, expand my horizon, see what it's out there, and yeah. Then already talked about a little bit about what skills and what challenges are there, but here's a summary of all the pros and cons. So we gain diverse experience across industries. We develop innovative problem solving skills. We enhance adaptability and continuously learn. Like I mentioned, it might work for one company, it might not work for another company. And if I talk about the cons, so it's typically we don't have a long-term involvement in projects. So sometimes you work on a product for a very long time, maybe 6 months, maybe 7 months, but you don't see it coming live, and that's one of the things that can be a con. We need to continuously prove our value to each new client because we are consultants. We are taken as is, and they want to see more impact than a regular PM. We also have to balance our work life, and it can be challenging when we're managing multiple projects, and yeah. And finally, managing feedbacks from multiple stakeholders. Sometimes stakeholders are super sweet, they have amazing feedback, and sometimes tough feedback. There are tough feedbacks that help us grow, that help us realize that, what can we do better. Okay, now what does it look like to work at Product People as a PMC, and what does our day to day look like? So at Product People, we work on multiple client projects from different industries, balancing our time and priorities carefully. So um, we prioritize for our life here. We use buddy system where a client-facing PM supports the growth of a junior PM while managing client relations. Beyond this client work, we also engage in internal initiatives like enhancing our knowledge base, supporting recruitment efforts, hosting live streams such as this one. Then we also, as a part of our day-to-day, we also engage in regular feedback and knowledge sharing that helps us improve continuously. What are the different levels at Product People, PMC levels at Product People? So first is product management intern or associate product management consultant. This is ideal for people who are transitioning from another career to product management consultants, or have a little bit of experience and know how a product manager operates. Then we have PMCs. As APMCs or interns gain experience, they become CFPMs, that is client facing product managers, and they're responsible for they're the responsible person for the client. They move into a more senior position, leading larger projects and mentoring others. Eventually, there are opportunities to become a principal PMC or director of product, overseeing strategic initiatives and take on leadership responsibilities within the company. So, what it looks like in product people is that um, the principal product manager, consultant, or director of product is usually the one supervising the CFPM and a buddy to ensure that we're delivering results. Okay, that is actually all for the presentation. If there are any questions, I think I'll stop sharing my screen and John can start sharing his screen for the Slido, and we can take your questions.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me put the Slido link right back on there. Here we are. Thank you very much, Batool. That was an awesome presentation. I think you gave a really great outline about what it means to be a product management consultant, what the pros and cons are, the differences between being a consultant or being a full-time in-house product manager for an organization. Uh, as stated, this is the time for the Q&A. So ask Batool anything that might have resonated, any questions that you might have, any clarifications. This is that time. Please use Slido. You can either, again, scan this QR code or go to slido.com and enter the code, and then we can jump into questions. But first, we're going to, once again, reiterate product people who we are. As already stated, we are interim fractional product management as a service. So in the event that there is a parental leave, or perhaps you are in between hires, somebody left, you don't believe you're going to be able to hire somebody new for several months or longer, or perhaps you are pre-Series A, pre-Series B, and you're waiting for that next round of funding, you don't want to hire an FTE at that stage, call product people. We're happy to help step in and fulfill the needs of your product management organization in that interim in that interim period of need. We also do product operations as well as transformation acceleration. So your typical consulting work as well to help your organization grow and get from where it is today to being a fully fledged product-led organization in the future. Here are a couple of our clients that we've worked with on the B2C side, several that you likely recognize, several that I use as a customer. It's fun to be on the other side of it as well. And several of our B2B clients as well, where I can attest that I'm also a customer of some of these B2B clients, which is kind of fun as a member of Product People. We've supported over 300 cross-functional teams. We have 42 in-house product managers, as Batool has already stated, that anybody that is participating as part of Product People, you are a full-time employee of Product People. And we are very proud of the fact that we have a lot of women that are representing our team. 66% of the leadership is, in fact, women at Product People. If you're interested in any sort of engagement with Product People, please feel free to reach out to me directly. You can find me on LinkedIn as John Freeman, and I'm happy to facilitate any discussions you might have regarding Product People. Now, back to the Q&A. First, Batool, considering market shifts, what do you think will be the biggest challenges for consulting product managers in 2025?
I think this would be because the market is changing into, we see tech layoffs, we see a lot of companies evolving. So when you hire a consulting PM, there's a added pressure to deliver quickly. And that's something that we have also been learning throughout our engagements, how to deliver as fast as we can, and how to deliver with impact. So the biggest challenge here, if I were to put it in a challenge format, I would say that managing these client expectations, aligning stakeholders, and also delivering high impact products in a much faster pace is might come as a challenge, but also as an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Is a lot of companies are getting away from hyper growth and getting more towards profitability, and so making sure that every single product that is being developed is one that has a positive ROI, or at least you're de-risking something where it's unclear whether or not it's going to have a positive ROI. So really honing in on the business skills and then making sure that whatever you deliver does in fact have a net benefit for the organization from a business perspective. Question number two. We have somebody who is a data analyst and is interested in a career transition from data analytics into product management. Do you have any advice, Batool?
I would say start shadowing your PM counterpart and start seeing how they do regular product management things. So, for example, how do they talk to the customers? How do they look at the data dashboard? What insights are they driving from the dashboard? How are they communicating with stakeholders? That's a key part. And how are they bringing everyone to one page? So that is one way for you to understand whether this role is for you. And once you have enough context, you can also apply at product people. There are various openings we have all the time, so you're free to apply. And any support you need, you can reach me or John on LinkedIn, like you mentioned, and we'll be happy to help.
Awesome. Yes, happy to facilitate those conversations if you're interested at working at Product People. And you can also go to our website, getproductpeople.com, and there's plenty of information available there to help guide you through the process of applying. Question number three. Which industries generally reach out for product management consulting services? Do you have any insights here, Batul?
Yeah, so these are these can be different industries. It could be, like I mentioned, we're working for a B2B terra marine company. We're also working with real estate companies, real estate tech companies. Then we also look at debt tech, if you've heard of it. But these are the different industries that have hired us, from B2B, from B2C and B2B2C. So for products that are that they sell to another B2B company and then eventually to the customers as well. These are the general industries that we work with.
Yeah, it's a wide variety. It's all over the map. But anything that has a digital product could end up in front of us and something that we get to learn and experience as the joys of being product management consultants. We're getting thrown into all kinds of different verticals. It's pretty cool. Next question would be, how does the interviewing process look like for associate PM hiring? What sort of qualities are you looking for in candidates and how do you evaluate?
We actually have um, we actually have a very detailed video on YouTube. I think it was done by one of our product management consultants. So it's a 7-step process. We look at so our case study is a major part of it, but before we look at your CV, we have a survey which you have to answer, and that survey holds more importance than your CV. So we look at those answers, we see whether actually you vibe with us or not, and then we move on to next stages.
Yes, that's right. So this
What
is all
qualities?
detailed on our
Yeah, sorry.
website. Yeah, you could go to getproductpeople.com. You can learn more. But as Batul mentioned, multiple steps. Fill out the survey, submit your resume. If you get past the survey, we do a culture fit. You get past the culture fit, there will be a product challenge that we'll review asynchronously and blindly. We don't know who you are when we're reviewing these. If you pass that, then you'll get to present. If you pass that, we do reference checks. It's a very cumbersome process, but it's worth it. And there's a lot of key learnings that you get to grow with. Now, part two of that question, what sort of qualities are you looking for in candidates and how do you evaluate? Or we said the evaluation a little bit. Go ahead.
So So problem solving should be is at the top of that skill list, right? You should be data oriented. You should be really good at aligning stakeholders, and yeah, these are some of the skills that we look for. Um, and how passionate about are you about solving user needs or user problems, and how can you translate that in product requirements?
Very cool. Yeah, logical thinking and structured thinking is very important. 100%. Stakeholder management, hypercritical communication is one of the key tools of a product manager, and effective communication is the key to success, as Batool highlighted earlier. So somebody is aiming to become an APM consultant. They've worked as a PM. The question is, how important is coding or data analytics knowledge like Mixpanel or Google Analytics?
So in my experience, coding is not it's a good to have but not a must have. Coding is usually it sits with the developers and you are not engaged with coding a lot. However, it is important to understand the tech challenges and what infrastructure sits behind, so that when you engage with these conversations with developers, you know where to how to drive that conversation. Um, for data analytics, so a lot of the companies don't use Mixpanel or Google Analytics. Sometimes they use their internal systems, internal dashboards, and to understand data structure. So you rely on your data analyst, their counterparts, to provide you with the data, but how to read that data and how to drive insights from that data is something that's crucial for us.
Absolutely. I can attest, I have no idea how to code. I have no desire to learn how to code. It's magic to me. It might as well be waving a wand and something appears on the screen. This is not necessary, but I can see how it could be helpful. And agreed, there's no one specific analytics tool that seems to be universal. It's figure out what is available to you from the organization and how to best utilize it to make insights from that data. So what would be the best prep for interviewing? How to prepare?
Confidence is key. You should know the product process. You should know where discovery falls in. Then how to whatever you've worked on, how to communicate it in a story to someone who has no idea what you've done, and be clear, be concise, and yeah, that's it. And then you got it.
Yeah, I agree. Some basic research onto what is the role of a product manager. There's several great books, or you could even take like a Udemy course that can give you the high level, big picture perspective of what the day-to-day activities are. A good book that I'd recommend would be Product Management in Practice by Matt LeMay. I think that lays a pretty clear picture as to what the life of a PM looks like. How can AI impact product management roles?
AI has become sort of very crucial to everything that we do. And it also, so you have to use AI like a tool and not something that you copy paste off. So it's really important to know the context, give AI the context, and then also, let it help you. So for example, if you are integrating it with any customer support roles, AI can be really helpful. But in order to really make the best use of it, you have to think of it as a tool and not as something that that nullifies everything that a product manager does, or any other role does. So there is always human involved, but you take help from the AI tools.
Totally agree. They're great for helping you clean up things like your notes, making them nice, or helping you maybe ask some basic research questions if you want a quick answer and Google's not fast enough. But if the expectation is that AI does the job for you, it simply does not at this stage, and I don't foresee that happening. But it can help you create documentations based off your own thoughts a little bit faster. So What resources do you recommend to improve my skills in API knowledge, UI UX design, and product fundamentals?
Okay, so my if it were me changing my career from UI UX or I want to gain insight, I would start by sitting with people who have the right knowledge and asking them dumb questions, right? And that is initially it feels dumb, but then you realize, okay, this is falling into the big picture. But if I were to point out resources, there are a lot of courses on Udemy, there are a lot of courses on Coursera, there are books that you can read up to understand how product management works. There are also certifications. So I know that there is an agile project management certification that you can do just to gain more insight on how things work. But the best way to learn is doing it in action, sitting with someone who already knows about all of this, and then asking them a ton of questions.
I 100% agree with that. And you said something I love, which is never be afraid to ask the dumb question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Curiosity is something that is heavily encouraged in the product management world, and humility. Don't think that you have to know everything. Be humble, understand that you don't know everything. Ask, 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 and shadow. Shadowing is super important. All the courses and all the books will give you an idea and they'll help you learn the vernacular, the language of product management, but it won't necessarily give you the experience that you need to be able to manage and navigate the complexities of product management. You really just have to dive in. And if you can shadow somebody, you certainly should. You mentioned certification, but a question here is certification the right place to start for switching from Scrum Master to product, and would it help qualify for product roles?
So if I were to see a Scrum Master role, you already have some sort of insight on how product manager works, or maybe how sprint works, etc. So the delivery and execution part is sorted, right? Now you have to work on the discovery part of things, for which I would also really encourage talking to the customers, looking at data, um, identify gaps, identify areas where you can improve, and start by bringing things on the table, bring your ideas onto the table, and then see how people react to those, right? Certification is again a tool, but in order to fully learn and in order to um, maximize your learning, you need to apply these courses and certification in real life.
Yeah, agreed. I've taken one or two of the various certifications, one that was paid for by a company, one several that are free. And it's great to just give you some additional knowledge and to understand some of the methodologies and frameworks that exist out there. And knowing those things is helpful for facilitating conversations. Uh, but at the end of the day, it doesn't replace real experience. And so we highly recommend, again, seeking mentorship, seeking guidance, shadowing anybody within your organization on the product team that's willing to let you sit in on meetings or maybe understand their thought process. And if you do see junior roles, that's the best way, really, is you can find an associate role or even working at product people as an APM. And it looks like that is the end of the questions that we've received. Thank you, audience members, for providing those questions. Much appreciated. As we'd mentioned before, we are in fact hiring. So if you are interested in working at Product People, please feel free to utilize that QR code, or you can reach out to Batool and myself, and we're happy to help you navigate some of the complexity. The vast majority of the information that we would provide to you is on our website, getproductpeople.com, where you will learn everything you need to learn in order to successfully navigate the hiring and onboarding process of product people. And if you found this useful and you like to get some more content from product people, please subscribe to our newsletter. We have once per month, we are sending out product stories and insights from not only the product community at large, but we do write some original content. And we think if it might help you benefit in your career, there's another opportunity for you to learn and to grow. All right. Leave that there on the slide for just a moment. And given that there's no more questions, what I'd like to say is, Batool, thank you so much for your presentation. That was really, really useful. I've been with product people for several years now, and it's always good to see the perspective of our fellow consultants. What are the things that are driving them, and what are the challenges that they're seeing, and the benefits and the joys of working as a consultant. So I really appreciate you sharing and giving some perspective and giving some insight into the life of a product management consultant, particularly here at Product People. So again, thank you very much. Awesome.
Thank you, John, for being an amazing host and helping us always.
Very good. Awesome. Thank you everybody for joining. I think this is the end of this week's live stream. Please join us next week, where we're going to be having Maria Reba talking about tech for humans, balancing AI, Web3, and user experience. Again, we do this every single Tuesday. Come, it's always free. We always have wonderful speakers that are going to join and share their experience, share knowledge generously, and help us as product managers grow. And we hope to see you next week. Very good. Thank you very much. And we'll be ending the stream in just a moment.